Hello, everyone. Welcome to William in the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Kenny. Kenny is from British Columbia in Canada. So let's see what Kenny has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hey, Kenny, can you hear me?
I can, yeah. Good evening, William.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. And yourself?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. Crazy that you found me across the world. But
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
good, yeah. Busy. We just did a scholarship giveaway for Black Friday, and it's always fun to give something on the front end, and then you realize very quickly after how much work it is on the back end. But yeah, it was definitely worth it. So, what about you?
Yeah, it's been great. Now in London, it's 8:30. It's evening now, so I already had my dinner and I'm here for the interview with you.
Very cool.
So tell
Yeah.
me where you're from, Kenny.
I live in Kelowna, BC. So Western Canada. Um,
Wow,
if you're international, the easiest way to describe it would be about halfway between Vancouver and Calgary, are kind of the two
amazing.
closest major cities. So,
So tell me something interesting about your city, something that stands out compared with other places in Canada.
from other places in Canada,
Yeah,
oh my goodness, it's like an oasis. Yeah, beautiful lakes, mountains are close by. Like it's really like tall buildings, but not too many. So it gives you like a strong city vibe, but like without a million people to be crowded. So I
I
mean,
see.
busy in the summers because of that, but the shoulder seasons is just so peaceful.
And BC is the place where you're born and raised.
Yeah, yeah. So I was born about 45 minutes north of where I live now. So
I see. And tell me what you do for work for a living, Kenny.
yeah, uh, I own and operate Prodigy Athletics. We're a hockey development hub, so we give young aspiring hockey athletes the roadmap they need to achieve their goals.
Wow.
So,
And what do you like the most about your job?
uh, the part that I love is that I see a piece of myself in every athlete that I work with.
Uh-huh.
So there's so much of it where it's like, oh, like I remember struggling with that. Like, a bit of like, here's the way. Like it's a deep meaning and a lot of impact to feel like you're making it easier for someone else. Like, we there's that famous quote like we stand on the shoulders of giants.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, very meaningful to feel like in some small way I'm the giant that they get to stand on.
And you play hockey as well? Did you play as a professional or not?
I grew up playing hockey. I went through the ranks of playing like minor and then junior. Went on to play university on a scholarship for 5 years,
Wow.
and then decided to retire after university. So I didn't play pro, but yeah, ended the game and retired, healthy, happy, and content with where I went. So,
Wow. It's amazing. You know what, Kenny? I'm gonna share something very interesting with you right now. Actually, I just came back from Canada a few weeks ago. So my best friend, he lives in Montreal, in the French side, and I've been there so many times. So many times I've been to some place in Canada. Not sure, place so far, but I've been to Toronto, and explored the Ottawa area and Montreal as well. Right. So this time now it came. He literally just organized to see a professional hockey game, and I'm originally from Brazil, so for me that was like something that I've never seen before, and I was so excited because I've been there a few times already, and it kind of never happened to watch it. So
yep.
when he told me, William, when you come here, we're gonna see a hockey game, professional hockey game. Just the season just started now, and I was literally so excited. I have no idea. And my godson, my his son is 6 year old, and he just started now classes as well. And so anyway, I went to this game. It was I don't remember now the name of the team, but they were playing against the U.S. was a American team, and the energy. Oh my God, when they came in, you know what I mean, to the stadium, and I felt this energy. I was like, oh my God, the music started playing out loud. I was like, that's incredible, you know, and I loved it. I think it's amazing to. It was experience, and I told him when I come back again next year, I would like to see it again because I just, enjoyed the whole energy of the game. I didn't know much about it, never seen before, and it was the very first time. And when I was checking your profile, and I could see that you were, involved in that, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to talk to him. You know, it's amazing. It's incredible, the energy. And also, I had him interviews with thousands of people around the globe. And you are my first, Rocky coach, since I started doing the show. So amazing.
Wow. Yeah, 9,500 videos later, and the first hockey coach. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
actually more than 1,500. So it's been a beautiful journey. Amazing.
Wow.
Right, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Of course.
But before we start our journey within the magic box, I would like you
Oh,
to tell me something interesting about yourself, or maybe something that not many people know about you.
hmm. Something interesting. I, yeah, I mean, I try to think that I'm mostly an open book, right?
Uh,
But yeah, if a stranger had just come across, they would know that I'm married. They would know that I have two kids. Something that's less common is my summers are filled with mountain biking,
wow,
um, which is not the most common like off-season sport for hockey athletes. Uh, so yeah, a lot
amazing.
of downhill mountain biking.
Wow. And you do that every summer. Every summer you kind of adventure yourself.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like every chance I get, I try to ride my bike like 1 to 2 days a week. Our family plans holidays around my bike trips.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, spend way more than I'm willing to admit on mountain bikes.
Amazing. Kenny, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
hmm I'm ready.
Amazing. Welcome to William in the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Full of random questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just first to relax before the first question, okay?
Sure.
Let's do it. So before we start the journey, during the interview, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about or you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully an open book. So we'll put
Amazing.
that to the test.
First question is, if you could sit down with your 13-year-old self, what would you say?
Hmm. The the sooner you can adjust to not caring about what other people think,
Hmm.
quicker you will find freedom in your own life.
Wow. And why you say that for your younger self? Did you have some time in your life that you were a bit trapped with other people thinking about you?
Yeah, definitely. Unconsciously more than anything.
Hmm.
And it was something that I felt like I realized quite a bit later in my life. Um, I'd always had that perfect path set out for me growing up. And it was like, oh, as long as I follow this path, I'm doing good. And for me, that path was, good grades, playing sports, using sports to go to school, to get a degree, to, pursue higher education and then have a white collar job, and then you're set for life. Um, and I realized, at around, I would say, started to realize that I was about 21. Um, I was like, okay, like, I've done it. Like I'm pursuing higher education. I've got amazing grades in university. I'm on a path to really whatever I want to be.
Uh-huh.
And I thought maybe that was a doctor, maybe it was an optometrist. Um, and the deeper I dove into answering the questions about my career, the more I'd realized that I was on this path that I felt like I hadn't really chosen. Um,
Right.
so it started at 21. I ended up graduating, 4 years later at 25, and and then out of necessity, starting a family, being in a relationship, having student loans to pay off, I started my career. Um, had a good job, and then it really hit me again, when I was 27. And it was like,
Wow.
okay, like we've got some stability now. Like, poke our heads up, look around. Like, what the heck are we actually doing here? Um, and that was where I'd felt unfulfilled and kind of, you know, guided into this path rather than just choosing my own. Um,
Right.
whether that be out of fear of, rejection from society, or like, some people feel that pressure of um, letting their parents down, as if, being on the side with kids now, it's like as if parents really have expectations. Um,
Uh-huh.
right? But trying to sort through that, and then that was really where Prodigy started. I was like, okay,
Wow.
this is what I want to do. Um, and and now I'm friends with people and see people in my life who are figuring that out at, 18, 19, 21, and it's like, oh man, like that's the ticket. Like, I figured it out at 27. I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure to some degree you're still figuring it out as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, that's kind of my journey, and it's like, if I could have figured that out 10 years ago, like what would life look like right now?
Saying that, what is the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Kenny?
What do I like the most about being me? Again, something that took a while to fall in love with, um, that I felt a lot of resistance when I was younger, is
Hmm.
that like I'm never satisfied. Like I'm
Right.
I'm happy, I'm never satisfied. And there were many years in my life where that was treated as a problem, like, oh, can't you just enjoy it? Can't you just be happy with what you have? And it's like, no. Like I always want more. And not even in a greedy way as it can be perceived. Like, I've got energy that needs to go somewhere. I've got things I want to do, people I want to see, people I want to meet, things I want to give.
Yeah.
Um, it's just life is too full to feel satisfied.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, was like a recent thing that I figured out that I absolutely love now. It's like it's okay to not be satisfied.
I love your point and I agree with you. The other day I was watching an interview of a lovely lady and she said something interesting that I never thought before. She said, you never get there. There's always a new challenge. There's always something, even when you achieve like a success, you achieve something that you go like, wow, I'm in a great place. However, there's always something else for you to achieve. There's always something for you to try for. So you never get there. I love that. And I said, my God, that's so true because, we are here to move ourselves. As I said, there's so much energy to be spent. There's so much thing that you can improve, that you can, about yourself, about everything in your life. So you never get there. I love that. Amazing. Next question. Hey, Kenny from Canada. Right. Which movie had a big influence on you?
Tricky question, William. I don't know if I'm a huge movie buff. So it's probably gonna be something recent.
Okay. Or I can put the question a different way. Which do you have like a book that had big influence on you instead of a movie?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So let's go
Uh,
for the book side then.
the book, okay. Um, honestly, the thing that comes up for me is Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist.
I
I'm
love.
yeah, I'm a hard no for reading fiction. Like I don't see much point in it. I'm like, if I'm going to spend the time reading, I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to read nonfiction. And I was backpacking Europe with my girlfriend back in 2019, and there was a take a book, leave a book at one of the hostels we were at, and I saw like The Alchemist, and I was like, and it was a lot smaller than I was expecting. I was like, okay, you know what? Like I'm kind of out of books to read right now. Like I can crush this in basically one train ride. And I did, and it's like it's just stuck with me so much about, you know, the experiences that we need to become the person, um,
Totally.
to unlock our joys or unlock our dreams, right? Like, don't make the mistake that like the person who never left and the person who came back to the same spot are the same person. Um, and that really stuck with me. Again, coming back to like enjoying the journey, never
Yeah,
being like never really having that destination.
yeah.
And it just, yeah, completely reframed how I thought about my own life.
Wow. And what's the meaning of life for you?
Yeah, I gotta steal this one from one of my favorite business mentors, Alex Hormozy. The meaning of life is the reason you don't kill yourself. Dark as that is like the equal opposite. It's like, well, what's what keeps me alive every day? Um, and I mean that's a loaded question. Like many reasons.
Yeah.
Um, I've got two kids. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want them to explore the world. I want to give them the fullest life possible. I feel like there's more experience in life for me that I have to give and learn and take in. I guess yeah, it's the meaning of life is that life in its on its own is such a gift,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I just like obviously want to be here as long as possible, but it's like I just want to wring that sucker dry. Like, yeah, when I get to my deathbed, I just want to be like, all right, like, you know, I'm good. I've done it. Um, that won't be the case. I know that, but I'm in the pursuit of getting as close as I can to that. So
And what would be the title of your memoir?
that's a deep question. I haven't really thought too much about that. Even like going through the exercise, of, like writing your own eulogy, like what do you want to be known for? Who do you want to serve? And how do you want to make an impact? But to package that into a title is tough. Um, I think just like give more.
Okay.
Hopefully that's not already taken. We should copy that right now.
You see, we are saving all the interview. When you're gonna write your memoir, it's
Yeah.
already, you know what I mean? It's already there. Nobody can steal it, the
I'll
name.
reach out for a forward from you.
And when people reading, your memoir of the book of your life, what there is a message or something that you'd like people to take with them?
Yeah, and I think it comes back to the title,
Mm-hmm.
like give more. Um, because I think that's something that everyone struggles with
Yep.
in different areas, right? Like, some people are very generous with their time, not generous with their finances. Some people are very generous with their finances, not generous with their time. Um, so I think we all have areas in our life that we're able to give more. And
Mm-hmm.
truthfully, I think the ones that we struggle giving the most are the areas that we see the most benefit from.
Right,
The biggest challenge has the biggest reward.
for
It's just
sure.
we avoid it because there are easier things to go after.
I agree. Next question. All right. So before the next question, what's the biggest joy of being a coach? What do you like the most of being a personal coach?
I think in the small moments, having an athlete start a conversation lost and end a conversation at peace.
Um,
Like being able to watch them figure out their own transformation in the
yeah.
scope of one call is incredible. And then helping them reflect on their own growth, it's like, oh, this is working. Like, yeah,
And,
that's my favorite.
and the flip side, what do you find most challenging about your career?
The most challenging, um, I think helping people understand that. Like there's a lot of ego in the sports space. There's a lot of like, you know, pent up protection, like, no, I'm good, I got it, I'm good enough, don't worry about it, I don't need help. So it takes a lot to admit that, that you need support. Um, and I mean, that's a personal belief that I hold. I think we all need support.
Hmm.
Whether we have access to it, whether we're aware of it, might be different questions, but I think we all need support.
Okay. Next question for you is, what makes you the saddest?
What makes me the saddest?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Oh, I think not being as present as I could be with my kids. Parent guilt is a very real thing. And there's no limit to it. Like you could spend like all day with your kids and at the end reflect and be like, well, like I was on my phone here or I was thinking about this while I was doing that. And, um, so I think just like really trying to be like as present as I can be with my kids because when I look back, like it makes me so sad where it's like, oh, like we have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old and thank goodness for Snapchat. We've got memories to look back on, but we just see so many parallels of our oldest and our youngest now and um, love it or hate it, like the moments are gone. And it's like there's a deep sadness in there. It's almost like a I don't know if melancholy is the right word for it. Like it's
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah. You
And I
have
think
kids?
I don't actually, but for example, when I was now in Canada with my best friend, he got a 6-year-old, my godson, and the youngest one is just 3. My God, is parenting. It's a 24 hours, work. Literally,
Yeah.
their lives is around both of them, you know. And I love going there to spend time with them because I go to the nursery, I take them to the nursery. There's time for a shower, there's time to eat, for this, and read a book and everything. And I love that. I think it's, but to be honest, I admire them, both of them, because, they're always on the go. There's always something, and just be there. I was like, wow. I was like, wow, my God, you deserve like a big prize because, and I'm sure you know very well, parenting is, and they grow so fast, and sometimes you see that it doesn't. Parenting doesn't come with like a book for you to understand, to read and get ready for it. No, it's just being in. That's how you.
Yeah, it's so funny you bring that up. I had that conversation with one of my aunts last week about, because my wife and I, like, we're readers, we like to be prepared, we don't like surprises. And so when our first was coming to be born, I got this book. It was, the first year of fatherhood. And just
Right,
like always just like in the text, just trying to stay like 3 weeks ahead, 4 weeks ahead of where my son was at. And
right,
I got to he was about 3 months old, and I was just like obsessed with, where he was at in the development. It's like, okay, he's ahead here, he's behind here. Like, okay, we gotta start focusing on this. Like he's behind. And then it's like you realize that you just get so consumed. It's like there's no perfect roadmap. Like as much as you want to try and do it up in a book, it's like I was doing more harm than good trying to follow this text and like make it the perfect path. So yeah, it's like as much as people have tried to write it out and script it for you, it's like the book doesn't exactly work.
for sure. And so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from your kids?
I want to say tolerance, but I don't know if that's the word that I'm trying to really pull out of this
Why is that? Why this word came to your mind?
because children are a reflection of all of your, call it trauma, all of your areas to work on. Um, and whether you want that reflection held up to you or not, they hold it up to you.
Right.
But I think the biggest lesson that I've learned from my kids, I'm gonna reframe the question so it makes more sense for me. Sorry.
Okay.
The biggest thing that I've learned about myself through having kids, um, is that as a father, I don't believe it's my job to show my kids how the world operates. It is my job to give them the confidence to explore what the world means on their own. Um, and that's really changed our parenting relationship from like commanding, dominating, like, you know, not to say we're not leaders, but almost like this tyranny in a household to
Hmm.
very much like a collaborative, curious, like exploratory relationship about how the world is. Um,
Wow.
I think it would be arrogant of me to assume that I have it figured out. So it's okay to say, like, I don't know, let's figure it out together. Um, and I think that's given our kids a lot of freedom to explore and courage
Hmm.
even at a young age. So
Amazing. Great. Next question. Let's do it.
yeah.
Right. Before the next question, let's go back to the Rocky now. Yeah. One thing that I was something that I find out, in that game that I was watching that I didn't know. They can fight. They can fly. They can fight.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that something that they is a rule? They can do that? And my friend said, if they take off their gloves. So my question for you is, being in this business as a Rocky, performer, as a Rocky coach as well. Tell me the thing behind that. Why do you think, of course, about the nerves, very physical. My God, the watch is very fast, very physical. But walk me through a little bit more about, those rules regarding that I was very curious about.
Around fighting.
Yeah, fighting and this physical thing that it somehow lead them to this point. Why is that? What do you think that? Of course, the nerves, but what do you think there is this this physical thing that they get to this point?
Hmm. Totally depends on the type of player, truthfully.
Right.
Like there are some players who play the game for that reason. You know, they love to get under each other's skin. They find excitement in fighting. They treat it as, a form of entertainment or you know, motivation or momentum for their team. Um and that's the game that they love to play. So like any sport, there's different kinds of players within it. Um, there are other players where there's a sense of duty for their teammates. In terms of sticking up for teammates, I think that's important. That's part of one of the most important lessons we learn from being in a team environment is being able to have each other's backs. And then I think if like to bring a third category where um this is where I would say I lied when I was a player is just having such a deep desire to compete and win and just driving you towards that goal of winning uh, is very emotional. And sometimes your emotions go over the top. And then,
Right.
when there's a lot of testosterone and energy and emotion pent
Yeah.
up, that can come out in violence and aggression. So, especially when the only cost for it is maybe some sore hands and a 5-minute penalty. So,
Oh wow. Did you ever get to a fight?
I was in a few, yeah. Uh, I was very much more I played a very much more calm game though, and I learned quickly that I'm not a good fighter. So the opportunity cost for me was very much more cost.
You have no idea how many videos compilation I watch on YouTube after that game. You have no idea. I spent hours watching. I was like, oh my God, I was so into it. Tell me three names of three, athletes in the Rocky, world that you always be inspired by for your career.
I think the first one that comes to me is Sidney Crosby. And if
Okay.
you're unfamiliar with him, I guess he's about in his 20th season in the NHL, 20th or 21st. Sorry, 19th or 20th. And set many records, like very skilled player. Obviously, to have a 2-decade career and still be at the top of your game is incredible. I think that shows a lot of persistence and resilience. Has had many injuries where many people thought he wasn't going to return, and you almost forget about it now because that was a decade ago. Like,
Oh,
um, so the way that Sydney carries himself, just as that almost like a humble servant leader is
okay.
something that I admire deeply, and I think that you know the skill that he has and the stats that he has to his name are byproducts of his character.
Right.
Um, another another player that's had a big impact for me would be yeah, cliche, but Connor McDavid. He's a bit younger for sure, but I see so many similarities between Connor and Sydney, just in terms of that leadership, that compete, that drive to win. There's a very serious tone about him. Like you see in his interviews and the way he plays, like he just desperately wants to win. Like win. Like
Right.
he's got that dog in him, for lack of a better way to put it. And then the third I would say is Drew Doughty, and that one, like, I'd be surprised if you've heard of him. You probably haven't been able to. You probably wouldn't be able to find him if you tried to look him up. But the reason that Drew stands out to me is he is such a clear example of
Hmm.
being able to play at the top level in the world for a sustained period of time without really having any like flashy highlights or headline goals. And that was like my style of play. There's many athletes that I coach right now that have that style of play where they're very stable, they're very consistent, they're not very flashy. Um, and he's had a long, successful career. He was like, and he's still, one of the top six defensemen for Canada, and he's like pushing late 30s. Um,
Wow.
so I love using him as an example because he shows players that you don't need to be in headlines. You don't need to have like the flashy skill to still have a really successful career.
Wow.
He's a quiet example of that, but an important one.
Okay, so now the question is gonna be a bit tougher now. One day you're gonna wake up in the morning having three missed calls on your phone from those three you just mentioned right now. Which one you call back straight away? Which one you send a message? I'll call you back later. And the third one, you don't call back, don't send a message, you just ignore him for now.
Ooh. Um,
And they are watching this interview, three of them, okay? Just to let you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're all watching. So call back right away, send them a message. Um, yeah, I mean, I'd call Sydney back right away.
Wow.
Um, yeah, reason being, I feel like I would have the most things to say to him.
Okay.
Um, I would message Drew, uh, and I would probably leave Connor, probably leave Connor, and same sort of thing. Like the reason that I rank it that way is just how much would I have to say to them in terms of how they've impacted me.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like because Connor has so much media attention already,
Yeah.
that the message that I have to share with him wouldn't be anything unique for him.
Right. I like your excuse for that. Next question is, tell me something that you learned from your parents that always comforts you.
Comforts me.
Yeah. Or what they did or still do that for you, you always find comfort on it.
Hmm. Yeah, they just this past October they celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary.
Oh my God.
So they have an outstanding track record of what a successful marriage looks like.
Wow.
And that's something that I prioritize and carry with me. It's something that's deeply important to me. Is the partnership and the bond that's formed through marriage, and that's something that I learned from them.
Okay, so both of your parents, they're watching this interview right now. When you have a moment and opportunity to send them a message, what would you say they're watching?
Answer my calls. No, I'm just kidding. Um, they're watching. I would say, Mom and Dad, I'm incredibly grateful for the way that you guys have raised me. I know that we don't talk super often anymore. Life is busy raising my kids now, but know that a lot of how I raised my boys comes from how you've influenced me and the things that I took from you guys that I'm proud to represent. So,
Beautiful. Amazing. Three questions left. Let's do it.
oh my goodness, we're cooking.
It means we are enjoying it. Okay. Okay, that's one is going to be a bit tricky for you because you're married, but always can change, okay? What's your what's your funniest memory of a date that you had? Or if you don't need to share that, you could say one of the best dates that you ever had.
One of the most fun dates. I mean, yeah, can we go on a 5 week date? Like, like my girlfriend and I backpacked Europe for 5 weeks. That was amazing.
Oh wow, wow.
Um,
How did your path cross for the first time, if you can share?
yeah, of course. I mean, we're both from a pretty small town of about 50,000, so
Oh
we
wow.
grew up with many mutual friends. Like, she played ringette with some of my friends from high school. I played hockey with some of her friends from high school. So there was always we were always at within arm's reach of each other. And then,
Okay.
um, you know, connected one break, or I guess so back in 2016, um, I I reached out. I met her at she was working at a Boston Pizza down near Vancouver.
Wow.
Saw her there, and then and then the next year, I was home for Christmas break. Saw that she was in Vernon, and was always kind of interested. So I had a conversation starter, and was like, "Well, hold on, are you in Vancouver or are you in Vernon?" Um, and then she's like, "No, no, no. Like I'm in Vernon. Me and my boyfriend from Vancouver broke up." And I was like, "Oh well, we
Oops.
should get together." Like, yeah. So then yeah, many
That's
more
a
details, but that's an entire other interview, and
that's a,
yeah, haven't looked back since.
what's the biggest difference between both of you and the biggest similarity?
Interesting question. We are both similar in work ethic. Like we both love to work, and I think that we appreciate that about each other.
Hmm.
We are very different in many ways. Um, I would say socially, like
Hmm.
I'm very outgoing. Like,
Right.
let's go meet people. Um, make some friends. She's in past she's been very much more introverted. So like, no, I don't want to meet people. I'm good just staying home.
Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, to her credit, that shell has really started to crack in the last 4 or 5 months, which I'm grateful for. Yeah, that's definitely where we differ.
Amazing. Two questions left. Let's do it. You like dancing, Kenny?
Not a dancer myself. Was that the
Before the
question? We're down to one now.
no, and that was just a curiosity. Before the next question, you mentioned already about Christmas. So Christmas is just around the corner. So tell me, what is your connection with Christmas?
Christmas has a lot of meaning around family and around faith, certainly.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, I wouldn't I wouldn't openly say that I'm a Christian, but I certainly have a deep appreciation for the meaning that Christmas holds around
Hmm.
December. I think it's very much more than just Santa and presents. I think it's important that we remember that if we choose to celebrate it.
Totally.
Parallel to that, raising a 5-year-old, there's so much magic tied to
Yes.
Christmas outside of Christ. Like, um, just the elves and Santa and the helpers and you know, so we do Elf on a Shelf. Um, I shouldn't even say we. My wife commandeers that entire ship, but she does Elf on a Shelf, and I get to watch it. Um, and it's just like you would think that your 5-year-old would be the hardest to wake up in December because there's more hot chocolate, there's more movies, there's more late nights, there's bright lights. But
Hmm.
he just pops out of bed every single morning, like, what did Elfie do? Where's Elfie? Like,
Oh,
what's he done this morning? And like, and just seeing him light up at the beginning of every single day in December
uh-huh.
is something that can't be replaced.
Wow. Tell me, during this time of the year, tell me a music that when you play, when you listen to it, you go like, oh my God, Christmas is here. Also, tell me a food that for you it's like a must. You need to have during this Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or during this time of the year. In a movie that for you goes like, okay, that's a must watching during the Christmas time. There is anything you could share?
Oh, always, yeah. Music, food, movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Music is Michael Bublé's Christmas album. Like he comes out of hibernation December every year, and it's like as soon as you recognize that voice, it's like, oh, Christmas is here. Uh,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I can't remember the name of the song, but the duet with that he does with Shania Twain is unbelievable. Um, music movie is the I guess it's not really new anymore, but The Grinch with Jim Carrey. That's
Yes.
an absolute staple every single year.
Uh-huh.
Can almost recite it word for word at this point. And food, I feel like turkey is too cliche for an answer.
Uh-huh.
Um, what do we do? There's two things. Like we have a tradition that's been passed down from my parents where we do advent calendars. So it's just like a little chocolate every single day.
Okay.
Um, that's something that's very, very Christmas. Like, yeah, my mom is like all over it. Like she'll drive out to see us just to drop the advent calendars off on December 1st to make sure that we have it.
Oh, that's nice.
That and the home baking
Right.
is yeah,
I see.
the only
Okay.
time of the year that we get baking.
Next question is, good question. If you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself?
I mean, I'm gonna say no.
Interesting. Tell me why.
Okay, this goes pretty deep, I guess. Um, I've struggled a lot playing the comparison game and the judgment game, and
Mm-hmm.
the issue that I have had and been called out for many times now is that when I judge and compare, I only judge and compare the things I want. I don't judge and compare the things I already have. So,
Right.
so in saying that, it would be unfair of me to be outside of myself and think that, what I'm missing would be solved by being me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, of course, like I love who I am. I would hope that, everyone has that same thought, and that if I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't me, that I would have enough self-love that I wouldn't feel that needs to be replaced. Does that make
Wow.
sense?
It does, absolutely. I get your point. And for you, when you got to this point, you mentioned before about comparison, about that there was a moment in your life that somehow clicked. You went like, okay, you know,
It's a process because
mhm,
like no one has their stats at 100 in every area of life,
it's so true.
right? And I think I realized that when I had a lot of success in university, especially like academically. Like I graduated with over a 4.0.
Wow.
And when I got out, I realized like no one cares but me, right? And it's like, what did I sacrifice to get that? Like I had no social life for 5 years.
Wow.
Um, and I still had the same job opportunities as my classmates. So that was kind of where it started to sink in. It was like, you know, the farther I got out from having graduated university, the less and less it meant.
Right.
Um, and then like we're always trying to improve one area, whether it's like physically, whether it's our relationships, whether it's business wise, and there's
Hmm.
always going to be someone that's better than us in each of those categories. Um, so like it can be a dangerous game. And that's
Totally.
that's where like the comparison comes in. It's like, oh, like I'm not as fit as this guy. And it's like, well, I also don't prioritize it as much as he does. Or, I'm not as wealthy as this person. It's like, well, also only been in business, a tenth of the time, right?
Uh-huh.
So, um, yeah, I think I'm still trying to learn that and realize that.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong, like part of that is what drives me is like, is that
Of course. Yeah.
efficient? But now
Yes.
it's very much more like, how do I just be better than yesterday? I know that's such a cliche,
No, I don't
but
see it as a cliche.
cliches are cliches for a reason. It's just whether we
Yeah.
choose to listen to them or not. So, yeah, feeling a lot more peace now in that internal competition than anything, and I think there's a lot of freedom in that.
And sometimes we can be our worst enemy. That's for sure. I know it's cliche as well, but it can be.
Yeah.
I get myself in this situation. I go like, you know what? There you go. You are being hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Last question. Ready?
Right.
Let's do it. Let's run. Okay, before the last question, tell me the very first game that you ever had as a professional hockey player. That's for you. Tell me the moments if you can remember. The second part of the question is the last game that you had that as a professional one that and you remember. And the third part of the question is tell me a moment when you're playing Rocky for your career that you go like that's the moment that I'll always have close to my heart for any reason.
Ironically, I don't remember the first that well.
Hmm.
Um,
You're fighting too much. That's why you're.
yeah, yeah, not many brain cells left at that point. Um, yeah, my first game, I would say
One of
I
the
could
very
give you the
first. That,
standard answer of like, I was nervous and like looking in the crowd and, squeezing my stick a little tighter than I needed to.
right.
Um, but I think that's any time that we're faced with a new experience.
Uh-huh.
Um, my last game, gosh, my last game was like right before COVID started.
Oh wow.
Um, so yeah, I mean, even in that, it was, I think, yeah, my just not knowing what was about to come was, I
Hmm.
just remember feeling like so confused because it was playoffs. Like it was our first game of playoffs. We got to the
Okay.
rink and essentially we're told that like go home. We aren't allowed to play. And like no one understood. Like and just feeling that like that shock and that frustration and confusion. Uh,
Yeah.
and again and having no idea what was on the other side of that moment and how long it would drag out. Um,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that still runs deep, and I think maybe it runs deeper because that ran into my senior year. So, um, there is an element of feeling cheated still that lies under that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and then the most meaningful game was my freshman year of university championship game. Series was tied, so it was like, last game wins the championship, basically winner take all. Um, and there's so many moments in that game that like just the emotional highs and lows of, being up, being down, being tied, being shorthanded, having penalties called. Like I remember all of it so clearly. Um,
Wow.
and I remember losing. Like I remember exactly like where I was, where the puck went in from. Because we were tied up until 7 seconds left in the game, and so we lost with 7 seconds to go.
Oh my God. It's
Um,
painful. It's painful.
and that hurt more than any breakup I've been through.
I can imagine.
But with that, like that was the most focused I'd been coming out of that. We lost that year, and then we went on to win back-to-back championships.
Right.
Um, like so just yeah, so much emotion wrapped up in that game, and really cool to see like what came of it. And I mean, I attribute losing that game, a lot of it to being able to win the next two, like
Wow.
next two championships. I mean, so
I love your answer. I was playing volleyball back in Brazil for years. When I was 12 years old, I started, and I just finished when I came to Europe when I was 18, 19. and I was training every day. Volleyball was my passion at the time, I remember. And when we lost some games, literally it took me like 2 weeks to get over it. Like literally, I was going over and over about every part of the game to if I could go back in time just to fix it. And you say about emotion, it triggers you, doesn't it? Like it hurts, it's painful, like all those. As you said, it's sometimes worse than a breakup because it's there. And you need to go back again to train and to start it again.
Yeah,
But
it's
I think sports is about that. It's about that's what to learn about yourself. I'm so grateful for that time of my life because now I know how to. You never get there again alone. There's always someone who needs to be with you as a group. You know what I mean? You cannot play on your own to to get there. So yeah, I'm grateful for sports because of that.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Last question for you is: what did you think was the most challenging part of being a kid?
I would say this is very specific to my situation, so don't
Okay.
take it as any advice or anything like that. But I was the youngest of three by quite a large margin. So my sisters are 6 and 9 years older than me.
Oh wow.
Um,
You're
and
spoiled. You're spoiled or not?
exactly, exactly. Spoiled with conditions though. And I think that a lot of that is what shaped me. So, I grew up with this idea that I had so much more opportunity than my sisters. And with that opportunity, as Uncle Ben from Spider-Man says, like with great power comes great responsibility. I always felt this pressure of, oh, I better not let my family down. I better not let my parents down. Like, what are my sisters going to say if I waste this opportunity?
Wow.
Um, so yeah, you know, there was pressure for sure.
You
And I think
describe it, I can feel it. You describe it, I can put myself in that situation. My God, it's a lot of pressure for a younger one to deal with, for sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Did you manage somehow to to impress them? I'm sure you did. I'm sure I'm just joking.
I mean, yeah, it comes back to, now being a parent, understanding really what my parents were thinking. And it's like, there was no strings attached. I made that up, right?
Totally.
Um, like they just wanted to support. They wanted me to have fun. Even with sport, like my mom said, she's like, as long as, when you give up hockey or when you retire, as long as, you still love the game and you do it on your own terms, like we're good. And I was able to do that. And it took until being a dad myself to really realize, like,
Mhm.
yeah, I just manufactured that pressure out of thin air. They didn't really put it on me.
You're gonna encourage your kids to play Rocky as well, Kenny?
I'm quite intentional to not
Okay.
because my life and my work is surrounded
Hmm.
like surrounds hockey. My wife, she comes from a hockey family.
It's
My
in the
boy
blood. It's in the
cousins
blood.
play hockey, so like they have enough influence to play and enjoy hockey from other parts of our family. They don't need that from their dad as well. So
I see. So names yet. Let's play now the word association game. I'm going to say some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
okay, rapid fire,
Money. Let's start with money.
freedom,
Fear.
failure,
Life.
love,
Family.
time,
Religion.
faith,
Love.
wife,
Politics.
uninvolved,
One word for sex.
infrequent.
Friendship.
Sorry,
That was very quick answer. One word for friendship.
trust.
Desire.
Hmm. Ooh. Oh my goodness, you froze me on that one. Desire. I guess, yeah, greed,
Okay. Success.
happiness,
Regret.
cowardice,
One word for wish.
dream,
One word for happiness.
family.
One word for British Columbia, BC.
Beautiful.
One word for Canada.
Free.
One word for personal coach.
Impact.
And the last one now, hockey. One word.
Uh, I was gonna say beautiful again, but I feel like I've already used it. Um, Entertaining.
Very entertaining. I couldn't stop. I said to my friend when the game finished, I wish they had another one like starting now. I was so like full of energy. I said I could watch another one easily now.
Yeah.
If I would meet your wife for a coffee and I would ask her, define Kenny in one positive and one negative word only, what she would say about you.
It's interesting. I think she would, because it comes in waves, I think she would use the same example. The blessing and the curse of being married to me is I'm quite sensitive.
Wow.
Very, yeah, open with my emotions, and it's like it can be a great thing at times, can also be disastrous depending on the context. So,
Let's play now, Kenny, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me the question, what hockey has taught you?
very much, yeah, hockey exposes the traits inside of you. I think it's a vehicle for personal development that gets missed. And this is not specific to hockey. I think this is any sport.
Mhm.
Um, to again, like with a cliche, it's like you get out what you put in.
Yeah.
But really what that means is like if you're willing to go deep and try and understand yourself through this sport, like what tolerance and perseverance and commitment and dedication, like what those words really mean to you, I think that playing a high level of sport uh, really teaches you about yourself, like what those words mean.
You can ask me a question now.
Yes, I've been waiting for this.
Oh my God.
Uh, before we start, are you familiar with Lewis Howes or the School of Greatness podcast?
No, I'm not.
Perfect, because I'm stealing this question or this frame from him. So, um, and I love because you've done so many interviews and podcasts, like you've got a deep, deep library. So I want to walk you through this situation.
Okay.
Imagine you're at the end of your life, God willing, that's in a distant future. You've accomplished everything you want, you've done everything you want. The tank is empty, you are content and at the end of your road. And everything that you've created, all of these interviews, all of your notes, all of your, if you've got books, everything goes with you. It's gone. No one has access to it after you pass. But you're allowed to leave behind three truths that you can share with the world based on everything that you've learned. So I'm curious to know, William, what are your three truths?
Before I answer, what a very creative question. And of course, 100,000 of interviews, no one ever asked that to me. And I love being in the sport. I love it. I'm in the sport right now. I love it. I think the first thing that came to my mind is one of the three things I would leave is always be yourself. That's one of my mantra. That's one of the things I would leave like this note. Be yourself always. I know sometimes it's gonna be difficult, it's not gonna be easy, it's gonna be tough, it's gonna be danger. However, the right people would come, the wrong people would leave, and you're not gonna have any pressure on your shoulders, and you're gonna live a happier life for sure. The other one, this is very powerful. I think I still have on my Instagram. Everything's possible. Literally, Kenny. Literally. If I tell you how I came to Europe, a 19-year-old on my own, you have no idea. I'm gonna write a book one day about it. You have no idea. And I already had that with me, that everything's possible. When I look back, I'm like, my God, I had everything against everything, nothing in 2002. But I always had it in my mind. Everything is possible. That's the second one. You can make it. The third one, something that I still get emotional if I start talking to it because it's very powerful. The third one is a word that if you'd ask me to define myself in a word, I would say willpower. That would be the last one, because I think it's kind of connected to the second one, because it's something that it's something that is the main for me is the main word of my ship that I'm navigating through life. This willpower. It's about that. Again, you need to believe, to feel it. Whatever you do in your life, could be anything you do. If you put the best of you in it, if you feel it, I think that's the main thing about feeling. Because sometimes we do a lot, not right, but you forget to feel it. And when you feel it, I think that's when the magic happens. That's how I see. I don't know if I answered your question exactly how you wanted, but that was a genuine answer that came to my mind after you put all together. For sure, be yourself. Everything's possible, and always remember about the willpower is something very powerful that guides me every single day, for sure. Did I answer well?
I love that. Yeah, that's powerful.
For sure. Great question. I love it. You almost made me cry. Amazing. Did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, this was a ton of fun. Thank you
Yeah.
again for having me on.
Thanks so much, Ken. Thanks again for being so kind and so sweet and accept my invitation. Also, thanks again for sharing a little bit more about your hockey career. That when I read your profile, to be honest with you, actually, I just find out today, because when I invite random people, I tend not to look too much into their profile, because I like to get to know them through the interview. But today I just want to make some notes about, and when I saw hockey, because I knew you were a coach through your videos. I watched some of your videos, and when I saw about the hockey, I was like, okay, that's going to be very interesting. So there we go. Thanks so much for also taking the time for that. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
One thing that has helped me feel more free in pursuit of action is that what you lack in experience, you can make up for in preparation.
Hmm?
And that helps me get over the hump to try things because like I am in full control of my own preparation. And yeah, and if I know that I can out prepare anyone who's experienced, I can gain the experience from it.
Wow.
And I think, yeah, just like that works for me. For anyone else who's listening to this or hears of this, it's find yourself a quote that when you hear it or when you say it, your default becomes action.
Wow.
That's mine.
Amazing. And before we finish the interview, back to the word association game. If you could define 2025 in one word, what that would be?
Uh, in one word, I'm trying to think of a synonym for like massive amounts of change. Um, Not to go too symbolic, but I would say Phoenix.
Wow. Okay. Amazing. Regards
Awesome.
to your kids, regards to your wife, to your parents as well. Just celebrate 40th anniversary. Thanks again for the interview. Have a lovely Christmas, and I just hope 2026 brings the best, for you and your family as well. Thanks again for the interview. Okay.
I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, thanks for your time, William.
Take care. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.